Hello and welcome to another vlog. I'm Brittany and I'd like to welcome you to Reno and to the Atlantis Hotel in Reno. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a room tour to start off. So we have a luxury tower 2-queen room, and you will walk in and you get a closet here and you get a bathroom that at first appeal feels pretty dated. It definitely has been like updated moderately recently, but there's just like a couple things about it. Also, there's a coffee maker in here, so you can make your morning coffee as you brush your teeth. It's really, I think this like green color is very interesting choice. And also you have a tub shower kind of combination, and the floor is kind of peeling. It just looks just a little bit worn. There's a couple cleanliness issues. I will point them out in just a little bit. Let's move on to the main living area. Space-wise, I think this is actually a pretty large room. It feels pretty spacious. Also, I think the light situation in here is actually pretty good. TV's fine size-wise for the room. I think it's good. They gave us a couple bottles of water. I think that's nice also. I found a pillow menu in the TV stand. It has like several choices on it. I think that that's like a nice touch. I haven't touched these like beds yet. On first like sit, this actually feels like a pretty good bed. Oh yeah, this is pretty, I think this is gonna be pretty good. I'll let you know about the pillows perhaps a little bit later. But yeah, nothing too bad. We're on the 10th floor. Let's check out the view. I would say there's not much out there. I see a rooftop and a big parking lot and like a backside street. Nothing much to look at. Maybe in the morning we'll see a little bit more. Just to finish off, I'm just going to point out just a couple of the nitpicky cleanliness issues that I noticed just right off the bat. Is that there's a couple hairs on the lampshade, and there's smudges and fingerprints on the desk, and also the top of this TV cabinet doesn't look like it has been wiped. Like this white speck here actually comes off with just like a little bit of rubbing, meaning that it hasn't been wiped or disinfected for that matter. So we'll be going around with some sanitized cloths and just kind of wiping a few things down. But that's the room. I'll let you know how I feel about it in a couple days whenever I explore the resort a little bit more. Good morning. We're just off exploring a little bit of the hotel and casino today. We stumbled upon like the second floor, and there is a huge arcade up here. You could easily spend 1 to 2 hours. There's adults up here playing and kids. All the games look really up to date. They all look in really good condition. I'm excited. I would come up here and play. Out on the casino floor, there is a stage in pretty well the center of what I can see of like a lot of the games, and they have video poker, and then it is like double layered. So there's like a sunken area too. Very cool. Okay, we're up here on what I think is like called the Sky Terrace, and there's games, and there's also a sushi bar and oyster bar. It opens at 11. And I'm loving the vibe up here. It's really bright. It's just, I don't know, I just really like it up here. It feels really nice. So there's cool water features all over the Atlantis Hotel. There's many waterfalls all over the floor. I would say the general gambling floor feels something like Old Vegas, somewhere between like Fremont and what like the old Sierra used to be. It's kind of that vibe. Atlantis has a buffet. I consider it pretty expensive, but I haven't had it yet, so I will reserve judgment. It is very highly rated. They don't do breakfast. They do a brunch on Sundays and Saturdays, so they open at 9. Other than that, they open more at like lunchtime. It does get cheaper as you get like more reward status with the casino. Just looking in it, it actually does look quite nice. I might have to give it a try while we're here. So we are down at the Atrium Lounge. It's right off the casino floor at the Atlantis. And what is a hotel review without like trying one of their cocktails? The list here is actually pretty good. Their signature cocktails are like $12. I think that's very, very reasonable. And draft beer's about $8. And I'm looking at actually like the hot toddies because it's kind of cold and snowy outside. So I think I'm gonna do that, and those are $9. That's pretty reasonable. We'll see how it is. So I had the hot buttered rum, and it was pretty good. I'd never like had one before, and I actually really liked it. Service here at this lounge is like counter service, so like nobody came around and got our order. I don't mind that. Really, it seemed like you could sit here as long as like you wanted and you wouldn't be bothered. So that's kind of nice. Once again, that hot buttered rum was $9. I think that's a pretty decent value. I also heard some people pretty happy with the video poker gambling at the bar. They seem to be winning. Okay, so if I didn't mention before, tonight is New Year's Eve, and so we thought we'd try the buffet. For tonight, it is $59 and does include unlimited champagne and mimosas. It's also like mostly seafood. So I'll go through like some of the highlights and some of the things that are like bad. I'll definitely like mention some of that. But this was my like first go up. This is like shrimp and scallops in a cream sauce, crab cake, lobster ravioli. They have a Dungeness crab and snow crab legs. And then this, I believe, is strip steak with a shrimp on top, lobster claw, and then one fried shrimp. This seafood in a cream sauce was really good. I actually might get another one. The lobster ravioli are like forgettable, definitely pre-frozen, have almost like a ground up little mush of what's supposed to be lobster. Didn't like them. Cream sauce was good, that was on them. Crab cake is great, definitely will finish it. Steak was pretty good, but the shrimp that was on top was fire, so good. This wasn't a fried shrimp, this was fried oyster, so no thanks. If I didn't mention, the seafood is actually like served warm, it isn't on ice, so that's nice too. Round 2, I got a pot sticker, I think it's chicken, shrimp. This is suckling pig, Cornish game hen, and then some kind of like Chinese seafood dumpling. The suckling pig I didn't really like. It was kind of dry, which isn't typical for suckling pig. The shrimp skewer was good, not dried out, pretty good. Not really any seasoning on it though, so you needed the clarified butter. Then I had the Cornish game hen. That was really good. Actually one of the best things I've had so far besides the crab cake. Really recommend that. The Asian seafood little dumpling was terrible, disgusting. It just had like a bunch of like odd seafood all mashed together. The flavor was like not distinguishable and it tasted like bad seafood. Also, I started with champagne and then I switched to the mimosas. Both are fine, pretty good. It's just easier to get the mimosas. They're freely passed around where I wasn't offered another glass of champagne. Okay, last small trip before I switch to desserts because I'm getting a little full. I got an oyster, curious to see how that is. They all are up on ice up at the bar. And then I got a cold shrimp just to see a salt and pepper whole shrimp in the Chinese section and pork carnitas. I will say that the Mexican section is definitely like really, really lacking. It had some like really bad looking ground beef with like hard-shelled tacos and then miscellaneous toppings really seemed like an afterthought. Other than that, things that I didn't try, there's Mongolian barbecue. You can fix up a plate there and have them cook it for you, and also an Asian soup station where they can cook that up for you too. Really wanted to try that, but they give you a giant bowl and that would be the end of my night. There's also prime rib. Once again, I would have loved to try that. It looked fantastic, but I wouldn't have had any more room after that. There's no such thing as a small piece of prime rib. The oyster was horrible. Absolutely bad. Like, I'm pretty picky with my oysters, and this was not a good one at all. It still tasted really grimy and fishy after like loading up with horseradish and cocktail sauce and lemon. That's a bad oyster in my opinion. No thanks. The pork carnitas were the only thing that I pulled from the Mexican section. I really beat up the Mexican section for their selection, but actually the pork carnitas were so good. Really love them. If I had room, I would go and get some more of them. The cold shrimp was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It seemed fresh and it was good. And then the last thing on this third plate was the salt and pepper whole shrimp. They're overcooked. And the fact that it's like a whole shrimp means that it should hold better, but it's dry. The flavor is really good. I'm sure it was really good fresh, but just a little dry now. Okay, I got coffee espresso ice cream, cotton candy, and carrot cake. I'm not much on dessert, so if there's a carrot cake, then you can guarantee that I'm going to try it. That's usually my favorite. The thing to do here is to get champagne and then get a container of cotton candy and put it in your champagne. Highly recommend. That's the thing to do here if you're drinking. Alright, I'll try these and let you guys know. Cotton candy was good, nothing wrong with it. Solid. It's a huge portion, so just be aware. I had espresso chocolate ice cream. I thought it was pretty good. Not fantastic, but I'm not a huge gelato fan. I'd rather have like custard. So for gelato, I thought this was good. I thought the flavor was decent. Carrot cake is good. Is it the best I've ever had? No. For a buffet, I think it's solid. Aldi got cheesecake. I tried it. The fruit on top is definitely like canned. It's nasty. The cheesecake itself is very lackluster. It's overly dense, but not in like a good way. I don't know. Maybe it's like too much eggs in it. It's hard to like peg what's wrong with it. It's fine. Brad had the panna cotta. I also tasted that. Once again, the fruit on top was not good. The panna cotta was also like overly sweetened. I think the best thing about panna cotta is that it's like kind of lighter and refreshing. I mean, it is cream mixed with gelatin. And I think that makes it like really nice, really amazing consistency. The consistency of this was fine, but the flavor was just overly sweet. It didn't stand up on its own. I think that concludes like the buffet. Final thoughts. Is it worth the money? Absolutely. Even for tonight where it's the most expensive that it would ever be tonight, I still think it's absolutely worth it if you like the more expensive things in the buffet. Prime rib, lobster claws, crab legs. If you like that kind of thing and you can eat a lot of it, it's absolutely worth it. Anywhere else, especially tonight, meals were very, very expensive, especially meals that included those particular items would have been $100 plus. So $60, which includes unlimited champagne, is actually a really good deal. Take that for what you will. I thought the food was hit or miss. In general, though, I would come back. We just got ice cream at the arcade on the second floor. This is one scoop, which is insane. This is equivalent to at least 3, maybe even 4 scoops of ice cream. This is huge. The 2 scoop is probably twice the size of this. This was $3.50-ish, and the 2 scoops was about $4.50. This is an insane amount of ice cream. It's a pretty good deal. Quality-wise, I'd say it's fine. I'd say it's a little bit old. The chocolate in here is a little bit grainy, but overall, it's good. It's not like bad. We got butter pecan and then a cake batter flavor. Both are what you would expect. Nothing out of the box, but not particularly bad either. And also for the price, how can you complain? Okay, so I just wanted to sum up our stay at Atlantis in Reno. Overall, I think this is a perfectly fine hotel. I did explore several of the other casinos that were out in the Reno area. Their casinos and just general facilities do seem a little bit better. I didn't stay there, so I can't recommend them. What I can do is tell you about this one. I will say that all staff here have been very, very friendly and helpful. I will say that the room has been generally clean. There is quite a few signs of wear and tear and age here. I also think a lot of the food in this casino is particularly overpriced. You're probably going to find that at a lot of the resorts though. The crowd here does tend to be older, or it tends to be families with younger children that perhaps want to use the pool and the game room. I think if you fall into one of those categories, then you're probably okay staying here. This is a fine choice. If you find yourself outside of those, then you might consider some of the other properties here in Reno. Thanks for following along with me on this Atlantis trip, and I'll be back with another video shortly. Bye!